Hey everybody, welcome back to our little mini-series, A Day in the Life. Yesterday we started to look at this day in the life of Jesus and the disciples, and we saw that they were crushed by pressure. Jesus was grieving, and we're going to see throughout the day that loads of pressure comes, and the disciples have just been on a ministry tour, and again they're just so tired that they've been in a season where they didn't even have time to eat. And it's a season of being crushed by pressure. Now, when we're crushed by pressure, there are two options in the way that we respond. Two options. The first way is to respond with what we call a Messiah complex. That is, I can work this out. I can make this happen. So some of you at the moment feel that the pressure is crushing you, but you have to sort it out. You have to win. You have to handle it. One of the greatest lies I find in the Christian life is this one. God won't give me anything more than I can handle. God won't give me anything I can handle. But what that means is that every time you get through it because you could handle it. And it never brings you to that place of saying, actually, I can't handle this. And so we need to be aware of the Messiah complex. I can handle this. Rather, what we need is not a Messiah complex, but the second option, which is the Messiah commandment. The Messiah commandment. Jesus never says to us, you can handle it. You get through this. Well done. I'm cheering from the sidelines. Jesus never says that. He actually commands us. Let's have a look at the command this morning. We see it firstly in Matthew 14, not as a command, but as an example. Let me look to Jesus. Okay, look to Jesus. What does Jesus do when he's crushed by pressure? According to Matthew 14, our passage in verse 13, it says this: when Jesus heard what had happened, John the Baptist has been beheaded, he withdrew by boat privately to a solitary place. What was Jesus doing? Jesus was turning to the Father. Jesus was relying on the Spirit. Jesus was looking upward. Jesus. So he looked to Jesus, and what did Jesus do? Jesus went to rest. He withdrew to a solitary place. But when you go over to Mark's Gospel on the same day, you see what he does for the disciples. So don't just look to Jesus, listen to Jesus. So what does Jesus say to the one who has no time to eat? Well, Mark chapter 6 and verse 31 and halfway through says this. Having noted that they didn't have time to eat, it says this: and he said to them, come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest. What an amazing invitation. Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest. If you're crushed by pressure at the moment, you are commanded to rest. But rest here is not so much about ceasing work, but coming to Jesus. I want you to grasp this. Rest is not so much about what you're doing, but who you're doing it with. It's not so much a place as a person. Jesus says, come with me by yourself. There is an invitation. I want us to understand that Jesus commands us to rest. I think it's interesting that as Christians, out of the 10 commandments, the ones we don't want to still be relevant is the Sabbath. Now, I don't want to get into a Sabbath Lord's Day debate, but I find it fascinating that we want to get rid of a day off. Surely, out of all of the commandments, it is the most generous and amazing. Take a day off. Rest. And God has given rhythms in life for us to rest. Let me give you 3 of them. Number 1, sleep. God has designed us to sleep, and if you do not sleep, you will die. Medical fact. If you don't sleep, you will die. God has put a way for us to rest that every day we remember, I need to rest, I need to give up, and I need to let God. That actually I can't concentrate on my breathing, I can't concentrate on my family, can't concentrate on my work, I can't do anything, and the world keeps going. The second rhythm God has given us is Sabbath, the idea of a day of rest. Now you can choose that. It's not like sleep that you have to do. You can choose to take a day off or not. But whilst if you don't take a Sabbath you won't die, if you don't take a Sabbath you will end up being ill. If you don't take a day off you will end up being ill physically and mentally. But there's a third rhythm that Jesus gives us, and it's in the text. and it's solitude. It's solitude. That need each day to be alone with God. And this is a huge option. You can do it or not do it, and no one can tell. It won't kill you if you don't do it, and it won't even make you physically ill if you don't do it. But let me tell you what will happen if you don't have solitude. You will become spiritually ill, spiritually sick, spiritually dry. You will become a fake. The Lord wants us to sleep, to Sabbath, and to have times of solitude with him. He wants us to rest. So, if you're crushed by pressure, you're commanded to rest, but that command is an invitation. Let me just finish with that wonderful invitation again. Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest.